Welcome to the Magical Portal, where we show you how we create magic in our photos.
So maybe you have been wanting to take more portraits, but it's really cold outside. So most people take portraits during the summer, but the winter, especially where we live in Sweden, the winter is quite long. So how can you do if you want to take nice portraits in the winter, or especially when it's cold outside? Here are our best tips for handling the cold when you're taking beautiful portraits. So where I live, in the very north of Sweden, it's often quite cold, but I have noticed that it's not so much about the temperatures as much as how windy it is, because I often find that the wind is harder to endure than the actual numbers on the thermometer. And also, I've selected this picture when talking about taking portraits when it's really cold outside, because where I live, I think it was -25 this morning. And I thought to myself, well, should I really go out? And will it be possible to take pictures? But then if you go up in the mountains, it's often warmer. So when I got to this place, it was only -12. And there was a little bit of wind, as you can see in the dress, but it was more gusts. So it wasn't consistent. So I had time to warm up in between every gust. And then when the gust of wind came, because I love the look that the gusts are creating, then I was just to embrace it for a few seconds and then it was gone. And also I decided I have a lot of dresses, obviously, being a fairytale/portrait photographer, loving to create art with the nature. I have decided to buy a lot of the dresses that I do have a long sleeve, like the one in the picture. Because if you have a long sleeve on the dress, it means you can have a lot of layers underneath. And that makes a big difference. As soon as you have exposed skin, and especially if it's a little bit of wind, then you are more likely to get too cold too fast and you won't be able to take so many pictures. So this is just something that I have found works for me. So go up in the mountains if you have any mountains, because if you drive up, then it's a lot of difference in the temperature. And also long sleeves, so you can have a lot of layers underneath.
Because I think that's like the most common thing people think when they see a picture like this, that you only wear the dress and maybe heels or something, like nice shoes, even if you don't see the shoes. And what they don't know is you probably have multiple layers and like snow boots and so you can keep warm. And I often go up one size in some dresses so that I can wear layers underneath.
So it doesn't sit too tight. I just noticed when you said boots that you can see the tracks where I walked. Because I'm using snow boots or snow shoes, the ones that you put on the shoes. So they
the big ones.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't sink into the snow. But that also means that this is the unedited picture. Because in the edited version, I took away the tracks just to make it even more mysterious.
That's
this
crazy.
is straight from camera.
That's crazy that this is unedited. I thought this was the edited version.
No, this is
so good.
Because I took the tracks away. But it's really like this time of the year. This is December, I think. The light is so beautiful. You have these incredible colors on the sky. So the sun is setting, like on my left, the sun is setting. So you can see, especially if you look at the trees, you can see there is a slight shadow on the right-hand side. So you have the sun from the left and then you have the moon in the background. So yeah, yeah. Next time I'll choose the edited
edited
version. But maybe it's good to see what it looks like straight from the camera as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And here is the edited version. This doesn't look very cold, but it was freezing. I live in southern Sweden, so we don't get that much snow, if we even get snow at all during the winters. But we do get very cold weather, not like -25, but this was around 0, and it doesn't sound that cold, but I live near the sea, so it's very like moist, in there, and it gets so cold. It's like the cold is in your bones. And I also use layers and layers of clothes underneath, and like big boots, and and in this case I also wear a cape, which is made of wool. So I was quite warm. I remember my finger were freezing. This is Lucia-inspired, a Swedish tradition. And I remember, when I was about to take my jacket on, I couldn't like zip it up because I was so cold.
Wow.
So I usually have these hand warmers with me. You can only use them once. I don't know what they are called really. Yeah, hand warmers. That I put in my gloves in between takes, because I shot a lot of photos this afternoon, but I had to take like breaks and warm up. But I think I forgot the hand warmers this day, because I remember I couldn't like feel my fingers, couldn't put the gear down in my camera bag afterwards. It was like they weren't part of my body anymore.
And also the, what do you call it? The one you have around your neck. It's we have the same. We have similar ones, but in the same place. But that makes a lot of difference, because I feel like the hands get cold really fast, and your ears, especially if it's a little bit of wind, and you just have that one on your shoulders. It makes such a big difference, actually.
Yeah, I agree. So I prefer to take, like when I take photos during the winter in the cold, I want to have like nice things that look nice in the picture, but that is also warm to wear. So in this case, that thing around the neck and the cape is really warm. And I think I have...
Is incredible.
Yeah, I love it. And I also think I have like a dress and a shirt above the dress with these long sleeves, and underneath that I have multiple layers of clothes. So yeah, and still got very cold.
Where is the light? What does it look like? I always find it's really interesting to try to figure out where the light is coming from. So is there like, are you in the middle of the forest here, or like are there trees behind the camera, or is it like an open area? Is it like open shade, or where does the light come from? Or did you edit, like, is the light on your face natural, or did you edit?
I had light in the crown I had, and I also like added more light in Photoshop later. But I think it's in the middle of the forest, but it's like you can see the tree lines. It's not a natural forest. And so I think it was some light coming from above, but it's in the middle of the forest, but there were some openings around. So I found this spot where it was a little bit of light coming in from above, or like right behind the camera.
Yeah. Yes, so this is I love to shoot in blue hour, and this is in blue hour. I just find that it's something mysterious about the twilight when the sun is setting, and it's kind of, if you're walking in the forest, I always find that it's easier to walk when it's pitch black or daylight, because it's almost like you feel like you can see where you're stepping, but you don't really. So I always stumble when it's twilight or blue hour. And this was I don't think it was very cold this day if you just look at the thermometer. I think it was about like -7, -5, which isn't too bad where I live. But it was so windy. So I went to the same location first where I was taking the pictures with the moon, because if it is blue hour and you go high up, you can still get like a really nice, beautiful light from the horizon. So I like to do that. But in this case, I went up and it was just way too cold. Like no way I could stand there, even though I have a lot of layers underneath. So I had to go down, and this is a tip. If it's too windy, try to find some shelter, because the wind is what's gonna kill you, or in this case me. So I tried to find a bit more shelter, and I was specifically looking for a nice, like a little bit of distance to the background, so I could get like the blurry background and something to frame the picture with. So even though I found shelter, a little bit of shelter, it was still really cold. And I think that it was actually humid as well. Like often we have dry cold, like the humidity is very low. But this day, I think the humidity was really high, and that's also why it was really cold. So I have lots of layers underneath. It's a dress with long sleeves. I have lots of jumpers. I even have a knitted woolen jumper under this dress, and that's why I took the shawl over my shoulders. It's like a fake fur that, but I just had to. I was too cold. The picture wasn't going to happen if I didn't have the knitted wool jumper underneath and this shawl. And I remember my hands were fine because I couldn't do no gloves. Like no way, it was not gonna happen. So I have some gloves on, but it was I think it was some wool inside of the gloves as well. And I did have the hand warmer as well. It's like it doesn't look that cold, but it was so cold this day.
I feel you. And I have visited you, so I know the cold, and it's super duper cold when it's windy. It's insane. And this is no wind actually down in southern Sweden, but it was freezing. It's right outside my house, so I could go in and be warm in a few minutes. But I remember I think I was talking to you, and I was looking out, and I was seeing this fog or mist appearing in the sunrise, and I was like, oof, should I head out? And you were like, yes, head out. And I was freezing. I think I have just one jumper underneath the dress, no gloves, and the dress is very like open. You can't see it, but it's very open in the front. And I was so cold, because mist and fog means high humidity. And it was minus. You can see it's frost in the grass.
In the grass.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I don't want to do it again, but I also want to do it again because it was such a beautiful morning, and the sun was rising. But I think like the biggest takeaway from mornings like this is dress with multiple layers, because you will get so cold. And shoes, I always get so cold on my feet, and I think most people think you need to have, like, if you have a nice dress, you need nice shoes and things like that. No take like the warmest shoes you have and buy long dresses with long sleeves, so you don't have to freeze, and you don't have to see the layers. You don't have to think about what shoes you're wearing and stuff like that. And also, if you buy dresses that you will wear during the winter, and buy dresses with like what do you call it, high neck.
Yeah. Not
Where
a
you
big cleavage.
yeah, exactly, because if you have a dress that have a cleavage, you can't wear, you can, but it's much more to
Then
edit
you need
in.
something to cover it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So and I think you have a picture of how windy and cold it can be.
So when it's windy outside, it's so beautiful, and especially if you have snow, because the snow is just making the ground look, I can't remember the shutter speed, but it's not very high. I think it's like a few hundred, 1 through say 300 or 400. So still, then you can also understand how windy it was this day. It was a storm. And actually, when I drew away from my home, I couldn't see the sun. But since I was going really high up in the mountains, then I kind of passed the clouds on the way up. And I think this is kind of inside a cloud almost, because it was so misty and so hazy, and also the snow and the wind. But this day I had multiple layers. I had like my really big and warm jacket. I had like the thermals, and I had cover pants and everything. So many layers. And underneath the hood, I had two, not one, but two beanies. So I had first like a headband, and then I had like the beanie on top, and then the hood. But this was so cold. So I went out, I set up the camera, and when you have snow, you can use the tripod and just like push it down in the snow, and it will be quite sturdy, which is good, because this way it was so windy. It was so windy. And I just walked out in front of the camera, and I think I was standing there for 2 seconds, and then I walked back. This was like under a minute, and I was so cold. Like I could feel every seam on the jacket, because that's where I got cold first, because the wind was coming through first. So I just hurried. I took the picture, and then I got in the car. It was so the point is, sometimes you can't take those pictures in a dress. And sometimes you can't even take those pictures with proper winter clothes on. So it's okay. Don't try to push it. Be safe. It doesn't matter sometimes if you have the hand warmers. I had those in the shoes. I had them on my body, like inside my jumpers, and I had them in my hands, but it didn't matter. This day was beautiful, but it was too cold.
It's insane. Oh, I get cold just watching the photo.
Do you have any suggestions? If someone wants to take more portraits in winter, what can they do?
I think the best thing is if you're wearing a dress like we are, wear layers underneath, and wear a long dress so you don't have to see the shoes or the boots. You can wear gloves if you want, if they look pretty, because then you can have hand warmers inside the gloves. And also, I think it's important to take breaks between the shoots, so you can warm up, and because if you're cold, you won't stay as long as you maybe would like to do. And I think we all have made the mistake to go home too early, and when you can come home and you go through the photos and you're like, oh, why didn't I try this and that? And so that's the thing I try to like remind myself: layers and layers, and breaks to warm up. Maybe something warm to drink also.
Something warm to drink is the fastest way to get warm. I usually have the car quite close, and even if the car is still really warm, like a warm drink like a tea or something warms you up the fastest. And I'd like to add to that just have a look at the forecast. You will start to see the pattern between humidity and how cold you experience the shoot, and wind versus temperature. So those 3 are the ones that I would look at. And especially, I mean, if I'm doing the shoot with myself, I am quite hard on myself. So I would push myself even though it's really cold. But if I'm doing portraits for a client, I would have a look at the humidity, I would have a look at the wind, and I would have a look at the temperature. And then also if we were to be up in the mountains, then you have slightly different circumstances. So those are the things I would look at. And better to be too warm and not as pretty than pretty and really cold.
Exactly.
And the shawl is a really cheap way to get something to cover your shoulders. It will help you a lot to stay warm, but it's also cheaper than to buy a new dress or a different outfit, and it can cover like what you have underneath. So that would be, if you don't want to invest or spend too much money to try to take some pictures in the cold, I would say like a nice shawl could do a lot of difference. All right, hope you enjoyed and hope you find some new inspiration, and we hope you are tagging us in your winter cold images this winter. We would love to see what you are creating. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.